Well, hello there guys, Agrippa Maxenius here, coming at you with a Let's Play of Alea Jacta Est. Now, we're actually going to be playing as Sulla. For those of you that don't know, many people know about, of course, the battles of the Roman Empire. Many people know about the rise of Julius Caesar, but few people know about Julius Caesar's grandfather and his fight with the first dictator of Rome, Sulla. Now, Sulla was, of course, an evil man. He was actually a man that made death lists of his enemies, and he would post the death lists in Rome, in the city square, and essentially force the people to either run for their lives or be slaughtered by his men, which would generally occur. As you can see, this is an extremely long campaign, guys. I have no idea if we're going to complete it, but we're going to be playing as the evil Sulla. Now, we're playing against Gaius Marius. Gaius Marius, of course, created the legions, the legionary cohorts, and really is the man behind the Roman army, the modern Roman army. Of course, not today's Roman army, but modern at the time, at least. And he eventually did beat Sulla. Let's see if, as dictator, we can retain power forever. So, as you can see here, my friends, we are playing as Sulla and his Optimates. Of course, the Optimates are essentially the force that supports Sulla for control of Rome as dictator, and hopefully as emperor, if we have anything to say about it. So we do have quite a lot of control here. We're starting off pretty basic, and I want to do one quick change here to that, which makes the map look a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and just show the owner of all regions. This way we can actually see how we stand. We are represented by red, of course, whereas the enemy, the popularis, are represented by blue. So we are essentially dictators trying to take control of Rome, or a dictator trying to take control of Rome. As you can see, we've actually got our army here, the army of Cornelius Sulla. And I do believe we should probably start moving into Rome quickly, into Italy more specifically. But I want to make sure that we have these guys fully stocked. I want to make sure that they're prepared to attack. We have to also keep in mind that we have to take Asia Minor as well as all of Greece while keeping Rome in our control. So this is not going to be an easy fight at all. But I think it might be pressing for us to deal with Rome first and then go ahead and worry about Greece. So let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and get over here to Spalatum, where actually there seem to be some pirates. It's going to take us 58 days of travel, and over a period of time, in fact, we could take a look here. Now, we could take a sea route. I'm actually not a fan of going by sea because we could take all of this territory on our attack. So I'm actually going to be returning to fight the popularis, and hopefully we also have some legions here that will unlock and that we can use against the popularis so that they don't take Rome. After that, I think we can come back and we can, of course, deal with the Greeks. So let's go ahead and end our turn and see if this is worth it. Of course, this is turn one, so there's not much we can do here. But let me just make sure that I don't have control of other legions. So we actually might be able to take control of the Pharaoh using one of the many different imperator abilities. But for now, I'm just going to keep things pretty simple. In fact, let me take a look over here at production. I want to make sure that we're getting as many men as possible, despite the cost. We also want to probably get the popularity of the people up. After all, we are trying to be dictators. So if we're going to get the people on our side, we not only have to scare them, but we have to keep them pretty happy. So let's go ahead and do some minor games. This is just going to actually cost us 75 denarii, which isn't actually too much at all. And we shall end our turn, my friends. Doesn't look like there's anything that we can do to add those guys to our army now, but it does look like eventually they might unlock in our favor. So perhaps we can get the Syrians to join us. But as you can see, we've got a lot of work to do in Asia Minor. But right now, I want to deal with the troubles at home. So let's get back to Rome and stop this madness. In fact, Roma is currently under control by the popularis. Is to keep in mind that in this particular time period, a lot of people like to think that Caesar was the first to march first. He was the first to commit incredible acts of barbarity, and I would actually liken him most to the Emperor Tiberius. Tiberius also had these death lists, and many modern dictators had these death lists, so that's why I chose to play him. Okay, here we go, guys. So right now, just movement. Nothing's happening. In fact, the enemy armies aren't moving either, the popularis. As you can see, cut them off entirely from Greece. So let's do that, and Sulla's army is looking beautiful. At some point here, we might build an actual depot just to make sure that we are getting supplies, etc. But let's take a look. This actually is not too bad an army. Sadly, we have not unlocked it yet. the Italia Exercitos. And so I'm actually wondering if maybe we should try to get this army to get up there. I'm going to try, guys. We might be cut off. How can it take 160 days? Are the roads that bad? That's not possible. Something's not right. I'll be. Alright, well, even more of a reason for us to get Sulla here quickly. Let's go ahead and move him quickly. And let's also take a look here at the Numidian general. Alright, we don't have control over him. But it does look like we might be able to unlock these guys. And they could certainly help us defeat the popularis. Because the Spalatum is actually controlled by pirates. And right there, if you check, we move in here, capture Spalatum from these pirates. We can obviously refit our army, although it doesn't really need refitting to be perfectly honest. Move towards Rome. I want to make sure that we destroy all traitors in the region and utterly annihilate any opposition to our party among the Italian factions, or excuse me, the Roman factions of the game. Then we can focus on the true enemies to the... Alright, still some movement by the... Alright, so as you can see, the Optimates actually lost here in Byzantium. We lost 6,600 men. We had absolutely no generals here, though. So I'm not really surprised. But I am annoyed that now the enemies, the Byzantines, are actually trying to attack our territory. This is annoying. It's troubling. Of course, this is a ocean battle. We lost that, too. Go to the detailed battle report here. We definitely need to make sure we win these battles. Okay, guys, now we actually got a wonderful victory here as the Optimates. As you can see, we were trying to move with that army. We couldn't. So Gaius Marius decided to go ahead and attack us at home. And Gaius Marius, of course, is our main enemy. The enemy, or the enemy of Sulla, the true enemy of the rightful ruler of Rome. And as you can see, we've managed to lose 7,810 men. The enemy lost 6,334. I always like to show you guys a detailed unit-by-unit count. And as you can see, this is battles between legions. These guys are vicious. You're going to go ahead and see the actual suffered damage for each legion. And as you can see, we had very high hit probabilities, which is probably the reason we won. We also had a nearby supply source, whereas the enemy did not. But I'm not sure if that's going to last. Let's see. Certainly puts a smile on my face. And once again, another quick victory for us here in Metapontum. Pretty cool. Beaten him in that battle, and we didn't even have a general to command us. In fact, sorry, that's where we are. I was under the impression he attacked our southern flank, but that's even more interesting. So we're still at war with Marius here. He is trying to take Ancona, of course, and I want to get Sulla here as quickly as possible. It's going to take 176 days, but really in game time, that's about, let's see, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, about 6 turns, 5 or 6 turns. And I believe we can more or less do that without much issue. So we just have to hold the enemy here for that amount of time. Area here. I don't need Spalatum to be controlled by pirates to affect any of my trade. Alright, I'm really curious to see if he's going to take Ancona. If we can hold this guy out of Ancona and force Marius to retreat back to Rome, it's going to make me feel a lot safer. And as you can see, he doesn't have a very big and wrap this campaign up pretty quickly. That's where terror has happened. The popularis have attacked Rome. I was worried they were going to do that. And of course, they're being led by Lucius Cornelius Cinna, that crafty little senator. We're going to make sure to make him pay for that. Another Optimates defeat here, and finally, it was only a matter of time. Unfortunately, Marius broke through Rufus's forces. Now, we are going to try to get there to Rufus as quickly as possible, but as you can see, this makes things very interesting, very difficult, because essentially, Rome is revolting. This is a true civil war, and we need to get in there quickly with our massive army. Alright, despite the defeat, we actually did a pretty good job on the enemy forces. And again, this is going to come into play later when we attack with Sulla. We killed a lot of enemies here, 6,642. They took a lot of our men prisoner, though, and I do believe that in this game, I might be wrong on this, that prisoners in battle can be used to reinforce your armies. Now, finally, an Optimates victory. Looks like our men caught the enemy off guard, killing 492 with absolutely no fight whatsoever. So maybe we should move into Tarentum with this army, if not just to delay the enemy's process of conquest of Italy itself. Wonderful. So we're getting there, guys, slowly but surely, and we have taken back this area from the pirates. That's definitely something to look forward to, is having control of this area. Oh, no, we haven't. Spalatum is still pirate territory. I'm going to have to come back for that, guys. I was under the impression I was in an attack mode. It looks like I'm not. So let me go ahead and set an attack mode for Sulla. And 94 days. So essentially 3 turns away. Maybe 4 turns more like. But I like that. I really do. And I'm actually going to go ahead, take this army here, and just stay put. We did a pretty good job with them the first time, so I'm going to hope that they can basically redo their job and kick some ass here, for lack of a better word. And of course, I am worried about the Pontic army to the south, but that's something to worry about later, and not now while we make our trip back to Rome. When Sulla... Okay, we see some movement here. And we're definitely going to take Bononia. I think once we take Bononia, we might build a supply depot, or actually, that actually is probably pretty redundant, because if we get into Arminium, we're going to have a supply depot there anyway. So many things that can affect our army, so keep that in mind. And there we go, guys. Marius broke through once again, but we're cutting that army down. You know, it started at 29,000. We're slowly cutting that number down to a more manageable number. And here we go, the Battle of Cirta. It looks like we are actually now fighting the enemies here. I didn't even realize, and we got a victory here. A really nice one, too. Apparently the Numidians are fighting for us. And I'm going to try to do my best. Or sorry, we are fighting a Numidian rebellion. So we're going to do our best to hold them back and utterly annihilate that rebellion, and then start moving through it all. Let's see. Okay, Hiemsai II. So this is apparently a king of some sort, which we are using to fight the enemy. I'm going to go ahead and actually have him attack if he can. If he can't, that's fine. I'm just going to hold at all costs. So I'm not going to remove myself from this area no matter what. Even if it's tactically disadvantageous to me, I'm staying put. I'm one of those people, when I get stuck into something, I'm going to see it through to the end. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So as you can see, Roma is under control of the enemy. This is troubling, of course. And we need to do everything we can to get it back, even to the extent of just basically trying to screw with enemy supply lines. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do here. The movement is actually really bad here. So let's see if maybe moving towards Tarentum is better. That's much better. So I am going to move towards Tarentum, and all we can really do is wait for the main army to get here. Once we do that, we can push through Ancona, and then from Ancona, we will go to Roma, and I'm hoping that we can get all these traders and just destroy them on the way. But that's, of course, just hoping. We don't know if that's actually going to happen. In the meantime, I want to make sure we have a lot of supply trains, as well as heavy artillery. Wow. Wrong century, perhaps. And I'm even going to give some reinforcements to my Lagides, this fellow right here. Or actually, this is Hiemsai, sorry. Let's see if Ptolemaeus has joined us. Nope. So Ptolemy's not yet joined us, but I think he will eventually. He sees the might of Rome. Let's move forward. I can't wait to meet the... of course, moving through Aquila, at least they'll get the good fortune of rioting and looting and burning down all sorts of homes. They're doing all sorts of other unmentionable things that soldiers of this time period did for fun. But hey, this is war, and war never changes. Okay, so we actually have an Optimates. And we lost here. So actually at the Battle of Cirta, we lost. Man, that's not good at all. Once again, another Optimates defeat. I should have let our men retreat, but instead I'm getting them massacred. Not a good move by me at all. Sorry guys, we seem to have... I don't know what's going on. No? Oh. Come on, don't do this to me, please, game. Oh, thank you so much. I was so worried there for a second, guys. So we did have to pull back, obviously, and probably it's a good idea to get our asses back into an area where we can be resupplied. I believe this is the popularis. This is an enemy area, so we're going to stay put right here and just try to rebuild this army. In fact, I will build a supply depot in this area. Hopefully the enemy doesn't attack us again. That was a stupid move on my part, trying to force the enemy to fight us there, and they absolutely were ready for that fight. So we're in Aquila right now with Sulla. I'm going to go ahead and make an attack move for sure. In fact, I'm going to do an assault posture, which I don't recommend anyone does. And we're going to move into Ancona. 38 days. We can do this, guys. Let's go ahead and get started on the movements. I'll be dictator of Rome. Or of all Italy, of course. As you can see, as we move, guys, we're actually burning a path. So this is not affecting the enemy supply too much since they're not getting any supply from these regions. But once we start burning a path through Bononia, the enemy will start seeing some supply losses, and we can start taking disobedience in not supporting us, of course. All right, it looks like definitely the enemy is moving through Greece. That's sort of to be expected, and we're going to have to get there and deal with that soon. But we have more important things to deal with on the home front right now. Beautiful. So actually in the Battle of Metapontum, guys, we actually won. That's basically our attempt to kind of move through and mess with some of the enemy's kit. I'm not sure I want to move in yet with this army. I think I probably want to wait for Sulla, but it's certainly something that I could consider. So as you can see, we have sieged Aquila. It's actually besieged. But I'm thinking I don't need to continue sieging it. I'd rather just go ahead and move through. Of course, if we do that, we might have to get rid of our attack order. And I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm going to actually do it just now, put it in a defensive posture. And I'm actually going to move Sulla to Araminium. It's 53 days of travel. Hopefully we can make it quick. Let's take a look and see how Hiemsai is doing. Not very good. Poor Hiemsai. We'll totally build a depot. Okay, so it looks like Marius has pulled back a bit. He definitely doesn't want to stick around here. I think he knows what's coming. But one thing he's also doing, he's consolidating those forces together into quite a nasty-looking force. Nasty losses here in Greece. We're going to have to do something about this. Obviously, the Pontian army can really do a lot of damage to us. Once again, another victory there. They keep trying to arise over here, but it's not going to work. Okay, guys, there we go. And it looks like we surrendered to Pontus in the region of Epirus. That's not something I like. We're getting a lot of hatred, essentially, for our inability to take these areas. As you can see, we're still trying to take Aquila. And once we do, we want to merge with our forces in Araminium, of course. But the army just is refusing to really move here. One of the reasons is they're very low on supply. I want to see if I can actually go ahead and build a supply depot, but I don't believe I can because we don't control this area. So I'm going to go ahead and actually do an aggressive stance with Sulla, and we're going to try to break through the enemy lines here. I'm also going to take this legion and try to make contact with Sulla and open up the roads, essentially. And this should make it a lot easier for us to push through. As for our allies in leave them for now. They need a lot of time to recuperate and recover, and hopefully then they could be of some use. and running and make me feel a whole lot safer. There we go, another victory by our Optimates. It really just seems like the enemy keeps trying to revolt there and it's not working. But one thing I'm working is Sadala. One thing I'm worried about, is Sadala. It's an army of 75,000 men. And he is taking. This is a guy we're gonna have to fight at some point. And with an army of 75,000, I'm a little scared to go up against him, to say the very least. So we need to finish up this business in Rome quickly, and it's not going to be easy either way. Let's take a look. We're still besieging, I believe. No, we have finally taken Aquila, my friends. This is a really good bit of news. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do that. We're going to merge. Then we're going to move into Bononia. And we're going to keep that same attack stance, and that's when we can really start getting back at the enemy here and retaking our regions. But finally, taking this city is great. If we look over here, we can see that right now, it seems that the popularis are in support here. The people love the popularis. They absolutely hate us. They view us as a dictator. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do a minor propaganda campaign. I'm also going to raise more money, because who doesn't always need more money? And we'll also have some minor games. Maybe we can get the people on our side next turn. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Anyway, guys, I hope you're enjoying this series. This is a very tough series to do. So if you like it, make sure to let me know, and we will continue it. But only if you guys want to see more. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, and as always, support Sulla. Take care, guys. Have a great day.